Sometimes the Magician inverted can be either like you feel like you were conned, or you yourself have imposter syndrome about the situation. Do you know what I mean? Okay. There was some part of the inner child part of the two of you that wasn't working, my friend. And it also leads to this indecision from you within the self, because there were some really high moments of this relationship where you're like, damn, like you looked at them like, wow, this might be the person. But then as time wore on, I think it presented itself pretty evidently that this person they are not your life partner by any stretch of imagination. Yeah. And so you had to adapt your plans because these things that you had maybe planned with them did not go according to plan. Okay, will you ever find love? Let's get to that point. When you move on from this, yes. But the difficulty about you moving on from this, and I do think you should move on from it, is that you've got to step into a version of yourself more like the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords, you can tell she's got one hand out and a sword in the other. She's basically, through that action, she's like, look, I'm gonna explain to you what's gonna happen, and then I'm gonna do it. That's kind of the energy that the Queen of Swords comes through as. And then I'm also seeing like this, almost like a departure that you're putting off, which is where I'm like, I do think you need to move on from this. And I think you need to become the type of person who is more able to express themselves. The Queen of Swords often lives in the throat because she's very good at expression, which is where it's like, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen and then we're gonna do it. And it's not unkind, rather it's actually indicating a high sense of self-worth and balance. The Star card being about tuning into your universe. I think that you actually have a very high capability to do that. And that's where it's like, I think that's what this parting and the separation is showing you, is that these two together, this sense of discipline that you need to have within your personal world is also going to help you heighten yourself spiritually. And I do see you as somebody who's pretty able to rein in signs from the universe at large. So I hope that's helpful to you. Sorry, that was a little longer than a mini reading. I sometimes do that. I just like got really into it. So I hope that that's helpful to you. And I know separation is a bitch. So I'm really like in your court on this one. Yay, hello. I'm so happy to see you here. The whole gang's all here. All right. So Christina, I think it was Christina K. Let me go back to my list. Kristen K. Kristen K, could you come forward and tell me what your mini reading is on? Usually do this. And then we're gonna move to Gemma P, and then after that will be Daniel S. Hi, for love, sure thing. Are you currently in a relationship? Welcome to those of you just joining. You are. Okay, perfect, sounds good. Let's get it rolling. All right, for Little Love mini read, let's do it. Thank you to my fabulous moderators. You make the whole world go around. It's a jingle, I wrote it on the spot. I know it sounds like it was professionally produced, but my dishwasher literally sounds like it's grinding rocks. Do you guys hear that? Am I crazy? All right. Okay. Jesus Christ. All right. Kristen, for love. Okay, there's a part of this relationship that's limited a little bit of your ability to have self-reflection. I don't mean that in a way that you are absent-minded in your life. It's just that I'm getting the Four of Swords inverted, which is all about like a lack of mental stability. And that's where I'm like, usually this is a very personal card. And I'm gonna show it to you. So you can see this card in general is very stone colored. And the reason for that isn't to represent anything negative. It's actually like kind of an inner peace. Fours being stability, swords being mental realm. So when this is inverted, I'm like, man, I think that you might need to be able to like designate more time to yourself, because there is a little bit of an issue with the give and take within this relationship, just to be very real with you. The reason I say that is because I get the Six of Pentacles inverted. This is all about give and take. You can see there's one person receiving, and then there's a scale on the other hand, which is like almost to say that it's somewhat recorded. Like it gives me this idea of like when there's a favor done in one direction or the other, there's like a mental tick that goes in the head and you're like, okay, they did this there, so I'm gonna do this here. Like it's a little bit of a dysfunction in terms of the give and take within the relationship, which is why I'm wondering if that could be part of why you're struggling to turn inward. There's been a lot of emotional pain for you in the past, and that piece rises up loud. Fives in tarot in general are a struggle suit, cups being deep emotions and love. And so now the thing I want to highlight about this card is that emotions always evade logic. Got it, okay. That's what the dysfunction is on the give and take, and then also this emotional pain. Damn. I'm really sorry to hear that, because I'm like, there's some disproportion of it. Okay, and then in that Five of Cups, you can see all of these cups that are knocked over, the pain of the past. And it actually, I wouldn't even say past, because you're looking at it presently. There's a lot of emotional pain that's harbored here for you. And there's this promise of something else behind you, but it's almost like you're sort of mourning. You can see that in the character that's dressed in all black. It's like an emotional mourning. Why are you raising them full time? This is a lot of labor for you. Like it's a lot of give and not a lot of take. Yeah, you don't have any time for yourself. Yeah, Two of Swords inverted as well, Empress inverted. You're almost having like a little bit of a pessimistic outlook on somebody else right now for that reason. Yeah, okay. I do see like a departure from this in eventuality. It's almost like a lot of the things that you've done in your life have been the result of what other people have insisted is the right thing for you to do. And so I feel like you step up and care for other people a lot, like a lot. So in conclusion, the biggest piece about this is gaining and reclaiming some control for yourself with this Chariot card that populates. That's where I'm like, man, you don't have any time to yourself to do some of this like mental balancing act. And I think that's what's giving you a lot of pain as well. Like I said, there's a lot of emotional pain in your past. But what you're doing right now is also leaving you kind of burnt out. And the solution to that is to really start reclaiming your identity, and not because of the rules that other people have instilled in you, but because of who you actually are from your spirit on out. So I hope that that's helpful to you, and thank you for letting me read you. It sounds like there's a lot going on in the emotional department for you right now, but I'm rooting for you, and I think everybody else here is probably as well. All right, moving on, we've got Gemma P. Gemma P. Can you please tell me what our reading is on? Gemma P. Looks like we've got a little mini read here. All right, Gemma P. After Gemma P, we're gonna have David S, okay? Also, while we're hanging out here, you guys, it would be so helpful to me if you could like this live. This gives me a little zhuzh in the algorithm, but always, no pressure. I'm just happy to be alive and happy to be spending time with you guys. All right, thank you guys so much. All right, Gemma P. Gemma P, love, sure thing. Are you currently in a relationship, my friend? Right. Gemma, are you currently in a relationship? Let's go into this. For those of you just entering, we are about to start a little love reading. That is a great question. My Venmo and my Cash App are in my bio. $7.77 for a 3 to 5 card spread, or $18.18 for a full spread. I try to keep my prices pretty affordable so that everybody can access things like this. Gemma, are you currently in a relationship? Did anybody see that come through and say? No, more like a situationship. Understood. Okay, sounds good. I just need to know if there's another person's energy to pull on. That's why I asked that question. Okay, so over here for you, I think you're looking at this and you're seeing a lot of opportunity and possibility. I do think you're almost kind of like, there's a little inkling of you that's keeping your options open, whether or not you acknowledge it, but I do think that you're looking at this with a lack of knowingness. The reason I say this is because there are all these cups, which are all the possibilities in the world, and then this character's blacked out, which means like you're not totally sure how to approach this quite yet. Over here in their energy signature, interesting. They are kind of in a period of life of nomadicism, if I'm being honest with you. We get the Six of Swords inverted, which is interesting, and then the Fool card that comes forward. The Fool is like this innocence and like curiosity about the world, but with that also can come a little bit of ignorance for the situation. You're not pulling the trigger on it though for some reason. Chariot inverted. You're not really taking the wheel or the driver's seat in this dynamic. I think you're kind of like slow burning this and waiting to see where it goes, because I think you're afraid of like making a decision that's going to decimate the structure of what's going on. Because even though you see a lot of opportunities in general and also within the relationship, I think you're just like wanting to have a very cautious approach to this. But as a result, you're surrendering some of your control. in this situation, to be totally honest. Let me figure out what's going on with them. They have this interesting fusion where they have a good valuation of some things, but a poor decision-making compass on the other hand. So between the two of you, I actually get Temperance. Damn, 3 of Pentacles, 5. Okay, so I think the issue here is that you both have some emotional pain from the past that you're holding on to and trying to get over. And that's really the barrier to the situation. But I actually think that the two